Welcome to Mobility Mondays. Team Developmental and White Line Athletics have partnered up to bring you discussions and demonstrations on mobility work and basically show you how to become more mobile in exercise and in your daily life. So what's the topic? What's going on today?
So today is going to be a lot of things to do. First, we have to define the difference between flexibility and mobility. So I'll let Stuart handle this for now, and I'll kind of chime in on what I think.
All right, yeah, perfect. So we hear a lot about those two terms going around. They're often used interchangeably, and to some degree they can be used interchangeably. But there's an important difference between the two that we're going to try and highlight today. And then Jericho is going to talk about, in terms of practical application, why there's an important distinction between the two. So if we talk about flexibility first, we can talk about the flexibility of a joint. And that is just the ability for a joint to move through a range of motion passively or actively. So if Jericho were to raise his arm up in the air,
that's all I can do.
If his arm can stop or can only get to that height with his activation, that means his muscles are producing the movement and he can't get his arm overhead. That means he's limited in his mobility. But if you were to grab his arm with the other arm, or somebody were to help him and push his arm all the way up, he can get further because he's not relying on his muscles to actively lift the arm. Someone else is moving the arm for him. And so he has greater flexibility than he's able to use in that joint. So we often have a lot of flexibility available to each of our joints, but we may not necessarily be able to functionally or actively go through that full range of motion.
Yes, and then that's due to a lot of different, it could be due to improper motor patterns. It could be from lack of stretching after your workouts. I know a lot of you guys don't do that. It could be a lot of things, a lot of factors affecting your mobility, right? But the flexibility is there. You have to find it and mobilize and activate the tissues.
So how are we going to apply this distinction?
So how to apply the difference between flexibility and mobility. And I'm going to start with what people hate or love the most, which is squats. Okay. Most of the time I think people hate doing squats because they cannot get into a position that allows them to do it properly. And now when you're doing something incorrectly, I know most of you guys know this, it hurts. It doesn't feel good, you hate the exercise, you never do it again. Skip leg day, right?
Yeah.
But once you have the proper mobility and passively flexibility and work them together, you can get into a position that not only is comfortable, but it doesn't hurt. And if it doesn't hurt, you'll end up doing it more. So what we're going to talk about today is the bottom position of a squat, and how to get into that point, and then what to do to pretty much get to that point without hurting.
Awesome. And
what kind of exercises or things to do that we can incorporate in our workouts so we can get into a comfortable bottom position. Because honestly, that's when you see people doing quarter squats, maybe it's because it hurts them. And that's everything. Why would I do something that hurts me? And when everybody's telling them, go deeper, it's tough when you can't.
If we don't understand, the limitations of mobility or flexibility and what to look for, then sometimes when we have people that are going into a squat and there is discomfort at the low back, or there is discomfort at the knees,
or hips even,
we may not be able to coach people out of it to prevent the pain. So we say, well, just work through it or push through it, or it'll get better over time. And
sometimes it won't. That's the thing.
That's the thing, right?
It won't get better because you keep learning wrong, incorrectly, and developing incorrect motor patterns that we get used to. Then we think it's right, but it's not.
Right. So what we want to do for you guys today is start talking about some of those things, the limitations that might arise,
and exercises you can do to help you get deeper into your squat.
Because your squat shouldn't be painful.
Shouldn't. What I'm going to show you with DJ is how to open up your hips in the bottom position of your squat. So I'm going to get DJ to go down into the bottom of his squat. Making sure that if you go over here, Stuart, that his spine is not curved, like he's not hunched back. Show us a hunchback DJ. So this is what you not want to do. So what you want is to raise that chest, be upright. Obviously, there's not be a lot of pressure on your hips, but this is the purpose of this video, to show you how to open up that hip. Also, a good thing to see is if we go back over here, if you zoom into DJ's knee. DJ's knee is on top of his ankle, so it's not causing any like tearing in the ligaments or anything like that.
I'll show you the wrong way.
Yeah, so show the wrong way. So now this is wrong because you don't want, there's a lot of pressure on the medial side of his knee. Yes. I'm gonna get DJ to push his elbows and the back of his arms to the medial side of his knee. Yeah. And once you get into this position, you want to hold it for like, I would say 30 minimum, 30 seconds. It's about a minute. When I do this and open up my hips, I do this for like at least 2 minutes. And after that, I feel great. Opens up my hips all the way. Once you've held it for 30 seconds, the next step would be kind of to oscillate to the movement, and this is what we're talking about with mobility. So I'm going to get DJ to move side to side, kind of open up the hip even more. I know it hurts right now, but it's going to feel comfortable like in this 2 seconds. Wait, and then I'm going to get to stand up. Now move to the range of motion and show them and tell us how it feels.
It feels good. That's for sure. I mean, when you're down, you can feel the actual release of what's going on, right? So I mean, like you'll feel initially, you're feeling tight, but one of the big things is that you must breathe. You can't hold your breath and get stressed out, because as soon as you stop breathing, your stress response increases, heart rate increases, and it sucks and you stop, right?
And it's like, what I always tell my clients is that it's the wrong kind of tension. So now I want to talk about this with Stuart. I mean, with DJ. So now we just talked about the importance of like mobility and flexibility, and now it's up to them to practice this, right?
That's right.
Like if you go into your gym session and you don't give time for proper cool downs, it's gonna hurt you in the long run. Just remember, your body heals when it's at rest.
That's
but
right.
if you don't give it the proper like lengthening period after you beat the crap out of it,
Essentially it, man.
I mean you're just healing improperly.
Because what do you do when you're training, right? Contractions.
Everything's contraction, everything's
short. And then when you go ahead and you leave, I mean, the tissue, for lack of a better term, remembers its position, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're always leaving it shorten, what's going to happen is things are going to shorten, and then all of a sudden when you have to do a particular movement and you have to mobilize, you can't
and you
get
find
there.
yourself, it's hard.
That's right.
And this is where mobility and flexibility again ties in with the whole concept.
That's right. I mean, this work that we're doing here, this is as important as doing reps in an exercise or whatever it is. I mean, this is about longevity. This is about maintaining your body's natural ability to move, right? It's about
it's for joint health too. Give it 5 minutes every day. In a week, that's what?
35 minutes.
35 minutes.
That's it.
Math is not my strong suit.
That's okay.
So, even 5 minutes a day will help. 2 minutes a day will help. Anything. Give mobility some time. Give it some love.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to pay off. Just go work to your own abilities. And I mean, just be patient. It's going to take time, but it's definitely worth it. So we hope to bring you this consistent offering of valuable information every Monday, so stay tuned. Catch up with us and find out what's going on. If you have some comments, leave them below. If you think we're full of crap, leave it below too. Let's have a discussion and see if we can increase our knowledge about mobility and how it can benefit us in exercise.
Because knowledge is power.